Leonard Anthony Primus, also known as Christo, Begon and Patinos, of Lamotte St. George, who resided in the USA, passed away on Friday 28th May 2021 at the age of 75. He was the husband of Irva Primus in the USA, father of Pamela Allard, Mark and Megan Primus in the USA, Miranda and Eddie Primus in Grenada, grandfather of Torianne and Zahira Primus, Lindonna and Marie Donna Buckmeyer, Donicia and Danielle Harry, Caden and Caleb Primus St. Aromand, and Cairo Primus Beckford, Malik, Malachi and Josiah Primus, Brian and Brandon Charles, and Donnelly Harry, great-grandfather of Tiana, Tamira, Tiara Charles, Rajon, Donnell, Maya Buckmeyer, and Esley Espirito, brother of Rudolph Redhead, also known as Humpy, father-in-law of Deborah Fullerton Primus, Pepta Didier, Christopher Allard, Andre Beckford, and Philip Harry, nephew of Alma Atz. Many relatives and friends, including Reginald John and the John family, Miss Bernadette James and family in the USA, Elephant, the Noel, Jones, James, Dragon, Purcell, Thompson, Primus, and Johnson families, Sharon Thomas and family, the Marshall family in Trinidad, Rennick Thompson and company, and friends and neighbors in the USA, Lamotte, St. George, and surrounding areas. The funeral of the late Leonard Anthony Primus, also known as Christo, Begon, and Patinos of Lamotte, St. George, who resided in the USA, will be held privately. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Lacqua Brothers Funeral Homes. Peter Alexis, also known as Pedro and Pudding, of Florida St. John, passed away on Wednesday, 2nd June 2021, at the age of 70. He was the brother of Judith Andrew, Gemma Julian, Eslyn Moore, Anthony and Andy Alexis, brother-in-law of Winston Andrew, Victor Moore, and Ingrid Alexis, uncle of many including Elutha, Sheila, Julia, Catherine, Debbie, Daryl, Sean, Jason, Nathalie, Nathalia, Matthew, Shalisha, Emmon, and Shanil, granduncle of many, caregiver Clifford Campbell, many cousins, other relatives, and close friends, including Celia and Junior Caliste, Olive Thomas, Nella Clement and family, Irma Wallace and family, Janice Marshall and family, Clarice Alexis and family, Agatha Alexis and family, Shirley Noel, and friends and neighbors in Florida, Guava State, and surrounding areas. The funeral of the late Peter Alexis, also known as Pedro and Pudding, of Florida St. John, will be held privately. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Lacqua Brothers Funeral Homes. Christian Cape, also known as Kaunda, of Pomeroy, who resided at Bellevue St. David, passed away on Wednesday, 9th June 2021, at the age of 43. He was the father of Casa and Cordutu Cape, son of Ann Bell Pear and Eric Ambrose, stepson of Ishmael Pear and Roseanne Ambrose, brother of Darren, Leslie and Simone Pear, and Erica Ambrose in the USA, grandson of Viola Lambert, uncle of Josiah and Amoni Romaine, brother-in-law of Calvin, aunts including Joan and Angela in Trinidad, Joy, Anna, Cossil, Greta, Jean, Dora, Alice, Sandra, Wendy, and many others. Uncles including Michael, Andy, Alistair, Ignatius, Dominic, and many others. Caregiver Curlin Batiste and family. Other friends and relatives including Leanna, Davis, Nigel, Alistair, Kellon, the Ambrose family, the Lambert family, the Pear family, the Peters family, the Pascal family, and the Mongo family, the Kingston family, the Sylvester family, the Bain family, and the class of St. Andrew's Anglican Secondary School SARS 1996. The funeral service and interment of the late Christian Cape, also known as Kaunda of Pomeroy, who resided at Bellevue St. David, will be held privately. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Bailey's Funeral Home. Selwyn Frederick, also known as Cello and Comfort, of Guava State St. John, former Grand Master of the Mizpah Lodge, passed away on Thursday, 27th May 2021, at the age of 76. He was the husband of Ophelia Frederick, father of Selwyn Jr., Angelo, Naomi, Berylan, Alva, Jennifer, Inette, Samantha, Wayne, Pansy, and Sandra. Grandfather of 36, including Raynell, Rayona, Ranaya, Savani, Shay, Jahim, Jamal, and Sherwin. Great-grandfather of 20, brother of Patricia and Brenda Frederick in Canada, Jocelyn Bonaparte in England, Martha Franklin in Trinidad, and Hessie John in Grenada. Brother-in-law of Martin and Larry. Father-in-law of Denise, Alan, Jimmy, Edwin, and Jerry. Nephew of Madonna Harry. Uncle of many. Godfather of Crispin Alexis, Kenrick Harper, and Clemrick Barry. Many cousins, other relatives, and close friends, including the Harry, Benjamin, and Frederick families of St. Patrick and St. Mark, Leonard Leo Augustine, Bernard Beau Augustine, Rupert, Peter Largo, Mr. Bernard Matthew, members of the Mizpah Lodge, and friends and neighbors of Florida, Brothers, Concord, Grand Roy, Dr. Bell, Happy Hill, Market Square, Grove Estate, and surrounding areas. The funeral service for the late Selwyn Frederick, also known as Sello and Comfort, of Grove Estate, St. John, will be held privately. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Lacqua Brothers Funeral Homes.
Leroy George Emmanuel Simon, also known as Palo, a well-known electrician of St. Patrick, resided at Mount Panasa, St. George, passed away on Monday, 7th June, at the age of 87. He was the father of Joanna Eldridge, Alex Simon, Leslie Osborne, Alan Simon, and Tessa Oliver. Grandfather of 15, great-grandfather of 6, brother of Jocelyn and Jean Simon, Phyllis Andrew, Glennis Jeffrey, Vincent McSween, Malcolm Alexis, and Costa Jeffrey. Father-in-law of Anthony Lewis, Richie Oliver, Joseph Eldridge, Farley Osborne, and Berylan Simon. Many nieces, nephews, other relatives and friends including Reynold Benjamin, Densley Moraine, Teresa Charles, Clarissa and Dujana Alexander, Cyril Hazard, the Frantic family, the Simon, Cato and Logie families of Chantamel, St. David and Satez, the McQueen, Maureen and Bayer families, friends and neighbors of Montparnasse, Tempe and Satez. The funeral for the late Leroy George Emmanuel Simon of St. Patrick, who resided at Montparnasse, St. George, will be held privately. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Lacqua Brothers Funeral Home.
St. Louis Joseph Collins, also known as PC, Pappy, and Chief, of Mount Plaisir, St. John, former superintendent of Her Majesty's prisons, passed away on Saturday, 15th May 2021, at the age of 78. He was the husband of Claudette, father of Lester, also known as Papa in the USA, Leisha in Canada, Marlon, Licia, Trevor, and Travis in Grenada, grandfather of Xavier, Kason, Joshua, Josiah, Zanaya, Tevez, Kaelin, Kirana, and Shamar, stepfather of Lloyd, Aisha, and Hayden, brother of Vernal, father-in-law of Chanel, brother-in-law of Vernis, Lasita, Agatha, Veronica, Bernadette, Athalie, John, Leon, and Randy. Many nieces and nephews in Grenada, Trinidad, the United Kingdom, and the USA, including Desiree, Rita, Cecil, Val, Simeon, Michelle, Dean, Ella, Judith, Angela, Patricia, Moncam, Jilka, and Rosamond. Many relatives and close friends, including the Honorable Dr. Keith Mitchell and family, the Collins family of Grand Roy and surrounding areas, members of the Mizpah Lodge Grove, Commissioner and staff of Her Majesty's prisons, the Cador family of Grand Roy, Joan Antwine and family of Springs, the Antwine family of Windsor Forest, Dr. Byron Caliste, Daniel Thomas and family, Pansy Joseph and family, the Hackett, Modeste, Moses, Patterson and Batiste families, Christine, Jacqueline and Adonis, Miss Whiteman at L.A. Purcell, the Alexander, Charles and Watts families of Brazan and Beausejour, and friends and neighbors of Mount Plaisir, Grand Roy, Concord, and surrounding areas. The funeral of the late St. Louis Joseph Collins, also known as PC, Pappy and Chief of Mount Plaisir St. John, will be held privately. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Lacroix Brothers Funeral Homes. Lydia Francis, also known as Debbie of Cherry Hill St. George, who resided at Mount Parnassus, a retired chief public health nurse in Grenada, passed away on Tuesday, June 1st, 2021 in the USA at the age of 61. She was the loving wife of David Francis, mother of Dr. Lynn Dave Francis Frank and Dalen Francis, stepmother of Karen Scher, grandmother of Joshua and Matthew Frank and Solana Scher, daughter of Elizabeth Otley, sister of Andre Frederick, Anne-Marie Bartholomew and Desiree Mackenzie, adopted sister of Bernadette Gittins and Derek St. Bernard, mother-in-law of Kevin Frank, aunt of Cody Bartholomew and Tristan John, sister-in-law of Cecil Bartholomew, Priscilla and Hensley Francis, Annon, Arthur and Louise McQueen. Many cousins, other relatives and close friends including Dylan Noel, Grantley Toussaint, Amanda Gittins Batiste and family, Renee and Randall Gittins and family, the Clouden family of Archibald Avenue, Nurse Marina Bedeau and family, Nelsia Maxime and family, friends from the Rupert Bishop nursing class of 1980, her colleagues within the Ministry of Health, Nurse Charles, and friends and neighbours of Grand Roy, Cherry Hill, Mount Parnassus, and surrounding areas. The funeral service for the late Lydia Francis, also known as Debbie, of Cherry Hill, who resided at Mount Parnassus St. George, will be held privately. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Lacroix Brothers Funeral Homes.
Edward Gabriel Modeste of Victoria St. Mark passed away on Wednesday, 26th May at the age of 77. He was the brother of Sable Charles, Millicent Straker, Rosalind Modeste, Marge Humphrey, Clarice Modeste Cohen, Septimus Modeste, Edgar and Philip Modeste, brother-in-law of Marva and Cornice Modeste and Thompson Telesford, uncle of many including Molly Ann Ferrer, Hazelland Purcell, Alice Felix, Jean Darbo, Charlene Paul, Albert Modeste, Dexter Charles, Edwin Modeste, Denzel Edwards, and Bevan McIntosh. Many cousins, other relatives and close friends including Danny Humphrey, Deborah Wilson, Kelmon, Lambert, Nurse Simon, Daphne, Kelly and the Forsyth family, Drayton, Choiceman, friends and neighbors of Diamond and surrounding areas. The funeral service for the late Edward Gabriel Modeste of Victoria St. Mark will be held privately. Funeral arrangements have been entrusted to Lacroix Brothers Funeral Home. Margaret Duncan Abraham, also known as Beverly of Grand Roy St. John, who resided in Miami, Florida, passed away on Friday, 21st May at the age of 69. She was the wife of Ian Abraham of Grand Roy. She was a mother of Sean, Shamika Abraham, and Yolanda Grant of Miami, grandmother of Jalen Abraham and Eden Grant, mother-in-law of Joseph Grant. She was the sister of Buttress Duncan, Lloyd Lewis, and Evelyn Pear of Marigot, Jermaine Duncan of Grand Roy, Hector Pear of St. David, and Jerifel Richmond in St. Croix, sister-in-law of John Abraham, Francis Abraham, Simpson Judah Thomas, Jeffrey Charlie Simon, Nancy Henry, and Ricky Ross. Several nieces and nephews from the Duncan, Lendor, Richmond, Pear, Lewis, Edwards, Augustine, Abraham, and D'Souza families. Many cousins, relatives, and close friends including Teresa McCollin of New York, Catherine Bascom, and Keith Duncan of Miami, Reynald and Ingrid Duncan of Trinidad, Alden Cadeau of Grand Roy, friends and neighbors of Grand Roy and surrounding areas. The funeral of the late Margaret Duncan Abraham of Grand Roy St. John, who resided in Miami, Florida, will be held privately. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Lacroix Brothers Funeral Home. Cecil Raphael Lewis, also known as Reggae, of New Hampshire St. George, passed away on Saturday, 12 June at the age of 64. He was the father of Chevon, Kevin, Kevon, Jimmy, Dubai, Hannah, Ketisha, Ronel, Corey, Kendra, and Keron. Grandfather of 16 including Brittany, Jaheim, Jaylene, Tiffany, Jemiah, and Jayla. father-in-law of Marvin Corian, Alvin Douglas, Nigel George, Sean Frame, and Tamara Smith. Brother of Lincoln Victor, Catherine Victor Edwards, Melita Samuel, Constance Tompkin, and Gemma Johnson. Brother-in-law of Henry, Dale, and Godwin. Adopted son of Clementina Braveboy. Uncle of many including Linton, Camille, Sharon, Chantal, Allison, Shamika, Chanel, and Shaba. Close friend of Alice. His caregiver, Geraldine. Many other relatives and close friends including members of the Northeast Bus Association, Wilmark, Pastor James, Brendan, the Samuel family of New Hampshire, the Lewis family of Concord and Willis, Braveboy and Smith families, pastor and members of the New Hampshire Seventh-day Adventist Church, and Wallace Memorial Pentecostal, the Boys on the Block, friends and neighbors of New Hampshire and surrounding areas. The funeral service for the late Cecil Raphael Lewis of New Hampshire St. George will be held privately. Funeral arrangements have been entrusted to Lacqua Brothers Funeral Home.
Nicodemus Mosley Hazard of Vincent St. David, who resided in Trinidad, died on Tuesday 15th June 2021 at the age of 74. Left to mourn are his 2 children, Sandy and Sean Hazard, 6 grandchildren all in Trinidad, his sister Mrs. Jean Hazard of Vincent's, many other relatives and friends in Grenada and Trinidad, too numerous to mention. The funeral of the late Nicodemus Mosley Hazard of Vincent St. David, who resided in Trinidad, will take place in Trinidad. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Bailey's Funeral Home. Venita Telesford Lambert, also known as Venet, of Windsor Forest, St. David, died on June 18, 2021, at the age of 74. She is survived by her children Jeffrey, Roger, Eric and Bernard Telesford, and Stacy Modeste. Brothers and sisters Olive Paul, Anne, Kyron, Fabian, and Teresa Telesford. Daughters-in-law Nathalie Bruce, Valerie Campbell, Brenda Lee Telesford, and Marva Henry. Son-in-law Kim Modeste. 17 grandchildren including Akima, Nathan, Jaden, Chanel, Kelshon, Jeffon, Ashley, Aaliyah, Dante, and Joshua. 2 great-grandchildren. Many nieces and nephews. Other relatives and friends including Michael Jaffier, Lawrence Blair, Stanley Buckmeyer, her caretaker Marcel Belgrave, and the Telesford, Brazan, and Paul families. Mother Louisa and members of the Mount Olivet Spiritual Baptist Church, and close friends and neighbors of Carriacou, Windsor Forest, and surrounding areas. The funeral service for the late Venita Telesford Lambert, also known as Venite, of Windsor Forest, St. David, will be held privately. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Bailey's Funeral Home. Kenrick Lewis, also known as Bowley, Crow, and Paulo, of Tivoli St. Andrew, who resided at Grand Anse Valley, St. George, passed away on Sunday 20th June 2021 at the age of 69. The funeral arrangements for the late Kenrick Lewis, also known as Bowley, Crow, and Paulo, of Tivoli St. Andrew, who resided at Grand Anse Valley, St. George, will be given in a subsequent broadcast. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Lacqua Brothers Funeral Homes. Rennie Matthew, also known as Tatty and Drizzle, of Moran, who resided at Woodford St. John, passed away on Friday 18th June 2021 at the age of 53. The funeral arrangements for the late Rennie Matthew, also known as Tatty and Drizzle, of Moran, who resided at Woodford St. John, will be given in a subsequent broadcast. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Lacqua Brothers Funeral Homes. David Ronald Norsis, also known as Doc, of Grenville St. Andrew, who resided at Hopevale St. George, passed away on Thursday 17th June 2021 at the age of 46. The funeral arrangements for the late David Ronald Norsis, also known as Doc, of Grenville St. Andrew, who resided at Hopevale St. George, will be given in a subsequent broadcast. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Lacqua Brothers Funeral Homes. Louisa Johnson, née Noel, of Monjaloo St. George, a resident of the Grand Anse Home for the Aged, died on Tuesday 15th June 2021 at the age of 93. The funeral arrangements for the late Louisa Johnson, née Noel, of Mongelou St. George, will be given in a subsequent broadcast. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Bailey's Funeral Home. Thomas Frank Norrie of Vendham St. George passed away on Sunday 13th June 2021 at the age of 90. The funeral arrangements for the late Thomas Frank Norrie of Vendham St. George will be given in a subsequent broadcast. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Lacquer Brothers Funeral Homes. Joseph Roy Raymond, also known as Chickambu of Moran St. John, died on Sunday 13th June 2021 at the age of 92. The funeral arrangements for the late Joseph Roy Raymond, also known as Chickambu of Moran St. John, will be given in a subsequent broadcast. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Bailey's Funeral Home. John Joseph, also known as Painter and Whitehead, of River Road, St. George, passed away on Wednesday 16th June 2021 at the age of 77. The funeral arrangements for the late John Joseph, also known as Painter and Whitehead, of River Road, St. George, will be given in a subsequent broadcast. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Lacquer Brothers Funeral Homes. Lindy Skinner of Hopevale, St. George, who resided at John Anglais, St. George, passed away on Monday 7th June 2021 at the age of 38. The funeral arrangements for the late Lindy Skinner of Hopevale, who resided at John Anglais, St. George, will be given in a subsequent broadcast. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Bailey's Funeral Home. Benedict Dominic Philip, also known as Cooleybo, of Tivoli St. Andrew, passed away on Saturday 5th June 2021 at the age of 53. The funeral arrangements for the late Benedict Dominic Philip, also known as Cooleybo, of Tivoli St. Andrew, will be given in a subsequent broadcast. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Lacquer Brothers Funeral Homes. Ravi Chevy Batiste of New Hampshire St. George died on Wednesday 9th June 2021 at the age of 34. The funeral arrangements for the late Ravi Chevy Batiste of New Hampshire St. George will be given in a subsequent broadcast. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Bailey's Funeral Home. Phyllis Veronica Paul of Pomrose St. David passed away on Saturday 12th June 2021 at Pomrose St. David at the age of 91. The funeral arrangements for the late Phyllis Veronica Paul of Pomrose St. David will be given in a subsequent broadcast. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Lacquer Brothers Funeral Homes. Ronald Ivan David, also known as Mr. David, of Lauriston Carriacou, passed away on Friday 4th June 2021 at the age of 97. The funeral arrangements for the late Ronald Ivan David, also known as Mr. David, of Lauriston Carriacou, will be given in a subsequent broadcast. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Lacquer Brothers Funeral Homes. Patricia Teresa Lacroix, also known as Patsy, of Mount Airy St. George, passed away on Monday 7th June 2021 at the age of 71. The funeral arrangements for the late Patricia Teresa Lacroix, also known as Patsy, of Mount Airy St. George, will be given in a subsequent broadcast. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Lacquer Brothers Funeral Homes. Loxley Murray, also known as Cooley, of Rucane, who resided at Mall St. David, passed away on Saturday 5th June 2021 at the age of 43. The funeral arrangements for the late Loxley Murray, also known as Cooley, of Rucane, who resided at Mall St. David, will be given in a subsequent broadcast. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Bailey's Funeral Home. Theodora Cox, also known as Jacinth, of Limler Carriacou, passed away on Monday 14th June 2021 at the age of 88. The funeral arrangements for the late Theodora Cox, also known as Jacinth, of Limle Carriacou, will be given in a subsequent broadcast. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Lacqua Brothers Funeral Homes. Richard Logan of River Road, St. George, passed away on Monday, 7th June 2021, at the age of 52. The funeral arrangements for the late Richard Logan of River Road, St. George, will be given in a subsequent broadcast. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Lacqua Brothers Funeral Homes. Dennis Lett of Corinth, who resided at Providence, St. David, passed away on Monday, 7th June 2021, at the age of 59. The funeral arrangements for the late Dennis Lett of Corinth, who resided at Providence, St. David, will be given in a subsequent broadcast. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Lacqua Brothers Funeral Homes. Iona Nicholas Joseph, also known as Anna, of Molinaire, St. George, died on Wednesday, 2nd June 2021, at the age of 82. The funeral arrangements for the late Iona Nicholas Joseph, also known as Anna, of Molinaire, St. George, will be given in a subsequent broadcast. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Bailey's Funeral Home.
Nigel Hamilton, also known as Nigel Wilson Anzaki of Beausejour, Carriacou, who resided in New York, died on Monday, the 17th of May, at the age of 59. Funeral arrangements for the late Nigel Hamilton, also known as Nigel Wilson Anzaki, will be given in a subsequent broadcast. Funeral arrangements have been entrusted to Lacqua Brothers Funeral Home.
A memorial service for the late Mr. Matthew Phillip, also known as Charlie and Movie, Concord St. John, privately held. A special thanks to his sister Ennis John, Brenda, Krishna, Ruth, Lasmi, Bert, the John, Williams, Philip, Rache, Honore, Welsh and Louisor families, and friends and relatives both in Grenada and abroad. Arrangements were entrusted to Lacqua Brothers Funeral Homes.
The management and staff of MTV extend deepest condolences to those of you whose loved ones have passed on. Thanks for watching.
I am Godwill James, an MD and a member of Gateway Assembly. Medically, death is regarded as an end or a cessation of life. Different groups view death in different perspectives. While some regard death as a continuation of life, others view it as an infeeble form of life. As a Christian, we may want to view death as a separation of the soul from the body. So, whichever way one may view death, I want to say that may the gentle soul of the faithful departed rest in the bosom of the Lord. Amen.